What's up, guys? Matt Rohrbeck from Movie Night, and I'm here with
Eric Marchin of Movie Night, the film slate and the art scene.
And Parker Mott of Movie Night.
We just got out of the 23rd James Bond film, Skyfall. Right?
50 years of Bond.
Yeah. We just got out of a screening literally like maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, and if you guys don't know, 23rd Bond film, Daniel Craig's back. It's directed by Sam Mendes, who did American Beauty and
Road to Perdition.
Jarhead, lots of stuff.
Yes,
And,
Revolutionary Road.
So,
You have to expect Bond to live in suburbia in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
Well, both of them were shot by Roger Deakins,
Right.
who
Yeah.
shot this film, and
Yeah.
it looks gorgeous. I think it's the most beautiful Bond movie.
So if you guys don't know
today.
much about it, we don't want to spoil anything. This will be spoiler-free reactions. It's not really a review, but essentially Bond
Is Batman.
Yeah, the plot is very similar to The Dark Knight. But to explain the plot, how would you?
I'd say that this time around, the sort of the villain played by Javier Bardem is after M and the MI6, and it hits home basically.
Yeah,
in
it's
London,
more of a
England.
personal story than the last couple have been. Like a personal vendetta on the
it's
villain.
interesting. It's like in Peter Jackson's King Kong. He doesn't actually come in to like an hour.
Yeah,
and something into the movie.
that's what's
so.
okay. Getting into our reactions, I absolutely loved it.
Right.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it as well. I mean, there's one scene that we'll talk
get
about
to
in a
that.
second, but other than that, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I know all the flack I've had.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it personally. I thought it was well done. That's the first surface reaction.
So getting into it, I just thought it looks magnificent. Like we talked about, Roger Deakins shot it.
It's shot on digital. I believe it's his second film shot on digital because he shot In Time, which was his first transitional film to digital, and it looks beautiful. It's crisp. The lighting is perfect. There's a combination of kind of slick neon lighting in Shanghai, and then there's this bright sort of lighting, and then you've got the stuff in Scotland that's beautiful as well, but very dreary.
Yeah, like I was even getting a little bit of a vibe at the end. Like there's sort of a whole bunch of several set pieces. That's common with James Bond, but I got a little bit of an Apocalypse Now vibe with the lighting. Just had sort of the smoke and ash at the end. Where I didn't want to reveal exactly.
No, and even the Shanghai scene, I think with all the like neon lights, it's very like and there's like a shadowy fight scene.
Yeah, and it reminded me of when they take Lau out in the building.
Well, the movie is very much, without like saying much about the film, it like when people talk about it, it feels like a Nolan James Bond, or it feels like the Nolan Batman movies. Right. You can kind of tell that Mendes watched those and goes, "I'm gonna make my James Bond like that," because like every little thing, you're like, this is very much like Dark Knight, which is not a bad thing.
Like, and these images aren't spoilers because they've been in the trailers and production stills, but like Javier Bardem, who isn't playing a version of the Joker, but there are scenes where like he's in this prison cell that's very similar to when the Joker's in this prison cell by himself, and then there's another shot of him disguised as a police officer that's similar again to the Dark Knight as well.
There's too much almost. I thought with the Dark, like I was like, okay, he's pretty much making the Dark Knight, but like
with Bond,
exactly.
But I mean, it's good. It's cool. Javier Bardem, I thought, was a wicked villain. Like, I don't know, he's very
good. Yeah.
He's playful, like you were saying.
He likes to toy with Bond before really destroying him.
Yeah. Not as insane, I would argue, but he definitely goes in that territory. I'd
say he's psychologically disturbed, though.
Definitely. Well, obviously he's trying to, blow up stuff and do things. But I just didn't think, my one thing was, I just didn't think Sam Mendes was as good with action as we've seen with like Martin Campbell and the past directors, John Glenn. I just didn't think it was as visceral as it could have been. Like the opening, I didn't think really was. It was fine. I just didn't think it was like whoa.
I had one moment where it's in the trailer too when Bond gets shot. I just love that shot of him
that's good.
Falling down and then hitting the water and stuff. It's just that opening, and then the Adele theme hits, which the opening credits are wicked.
Well, I love the motorcycles on the roof as well. I thought that was
I thought the opening was great. I mean, I think we're on the same page. Like, I loved it. Like, I don't know. It's probably my favorite blockbuster I've seen this year. I might be like hyped up because I just got out of it and stuff.
And we should say that Judi Dench plays a very important part in this, where she's been in the background for the previous Bond movies, and I think that she's a crucial role. She's really good. Ralph Fiennes pops up as sort of, I guess, maybe her competition.
See, I wasn't big on Ralph Fiennes.
I liked him. I liked him in a subtle way. I like when he goes up to Daniel Craig and he's like, "Don't cock this up." Just like his kind of dry humor.
The
British. That's the thing. It's like what I said when I tweeted right after. I'm like, it feels very modern with the whole technology thing with
Q.
And Q and Javier
Q.
Bardem's like a very like a cyber terrorist almost kind of thing too.
Yeah.
But then they throw back to all these old Bond things, and it's a lot more tongue in cheek than the other ones. Like Casino Royale is very like serious, right? Like it's the first movie,
Yeah.
and then Quantum of Solace is a little more of like just a straightforward action film. And I felt like this balanced it well, where they had those funny moments that were enjoyable, but like they weren't so over the top, like cheesy or anything.
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought was great was the opening title sequence. I mean, that's such a staple in the Bond franchise, and obviously everybody's heard Adele's song, and it's great. But you know, the actual visuals in the title sequence really add to the song, and
actually what's going on with his character.
Yeah.
Sort of. I just didn't think they really showed his transition because how he kind of rises up from the
But
ash.
that's the thing we should also mention. It's that you're getting Daniel Craig now. It's his third movie. He's basically the older version. Like he's almost like in The Dark Knight Returns. He's playing the old version
Dark
of
Knight Rises.
Rise.
Yeah.
No, Returns. The Frank
and like,
Miller.
okay,
like,
well, I
it
mean, in
reminded
Dark
me of
Knight
that.
Rises, well, even like this movie feels like we keep going back to Batman, and I don't want to do that.
You have
That's
to,
the whole
though, with this
thing.
movie.
But it
It's-
feels like a combination of The Dark Knight and The
He
Dark
didn't
Knight
have a gravelly
Rises.
voice
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I know.
No
Well,
gravelly voice.
he grows that beard, and he's all hurt, and like, but I don't know. It works. It's just. I think it works on every level. There's one scene that you didn't like.
Yeah, there's a scene at a
Without
party
spoiling
in
anything.
Shanghai
What's
that
that?
involves a exotic animal that I think the effect work wasn't that great.
But I mean,
I thought Naomi Harris was really good. I just thought she needed a little bit more with Bond, and I thought because I was really interested in sort of the
Well, she gives him a close shave, which is kind
yeah,
of
that was
like,
a good
which
scene.
is,
I love when they make romantic things out of that. But like, just
romantic things.
like, well, they make romance out of like small little moments. And I don't know. She's sort of like they have like, this professional relationship and a romantic relationship, and it sort of goes back and forth. And I liked it. I just wanted a little more of it.
Yeah, and again, we don't want to spoil anything, but it very much launches a new like era into the Bond franchise. I feel like even though it's his third film, it kind of it does.
feels reinvigorated.
It harks back sort of at the same time.
Yeah.
It's doing both.
That's what I mean. It's very interesting the way that they like make it new, but also it's old.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's
it's
feeling
weird,
old,
yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not as good as I was when it was.
He's on. It's like he's on his second wind, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the next 3 Bond movies
Oh, yeah,
with
I
Craig
know,
if he
yeah.
does them.
Yeah. So, spoiler.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But no, it's like, I mean, the action set pieces, even though you said they weren't as visceral as maybe the other films.
Casino
you
Royale,
like, but it's a toss-up. Casino Royale and this film are very different, I find, too.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah,
I loved both of them.
I think Sam Mendes again is able to bring the right people together. Like John Logan did a
screenwriter.
rewrite of the script, and you know, Gladiator, Hugo, and The Aviator. He's a very strong writer, and I think he adds that realism that was needed. Like, it felt like the scene that I complained about was from the previous 2 writers who have worked on many of the Bond films previously.
Yeah. No, I thought the screenplay was good. The action I thought was really good. The set pieces, Deakins was unreal. Like every shot.
That guy's got to win an Oscar,
I
and
mean-
I wouldn't mind if it was for this.
No,
I don't think he's won an Oscar, has he?
No, he hasn't.
No, yeah.
And I like literally for an action film, it's surprisingly gorgeous. Every shot you can just feel like he took the time to make look really, 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 really.
It's basically a calling card for digital.
Yeah, I know, and like I'm finally starting to jump on that like bandwagon where I kind of like digital cinematography, and if you see it in a digital cinema that's set up very well, it looks really, really good, and especially on Blu-ray and stuff like that. I mean, I can't wait to watch it on
So definitely
Blu-ray.
recommend checking out it in a theater, going to the IMAX experience. Would
Yeah,
probably be really
I know
fun.
they did a special like upgrade, like up conversion to IMAX. I know like most are just the IMAX experience and they throw it on, but I think they took their time to make this look very good in IMAX. We just saw it regular.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm definitely
You can see it in
gonna
either
go.
or, and I think you'd be satisfied
I know,
with the
yeah,
look.
yeah,
the
I
look
mean-
is incredible. So, but we've talked about Roger Deakins quite a bit. Like he's huge.
I
in
think
that
We need
movie.
to talk about it more. I think.
I
I know
yeah.
he's really the best part. I mean, most people might be like, "Well, how's the action? How's the thing?" But like, literally, it's amazing how like surprising how good.
And the
it
scenes
looks.
look different. Like
And
they
yeah.
have a distinguished look.
And that's the
every
one
scene.
great thing about Bond movies. It's so globe-trotting, and
Yeah.
he takes those different locations, and everything looks very different but amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
And like Daniel Craig, I mean, it's what you expect from him from the at least Casino Royale, and like I mean in Quantum, it wasn't really his fault that it was not that great. Even though myself and Eric do like
Admitted
Quantum,
fans.
like Quantum of Solace. So I mean, if you like Casino Royale, I think you're gonna love this.
I think if you love Bond in general,
Yeah.
it's one of probably the best Bond movies.
yeah, I think in a long time.
It's strong, definitely.
I would say it's my. I don't know if I like it more than Casino Royale.
I'd say I like Casino Royale, but we just saw Skyfall, so it's still sinking in.
I know, that's what I mean. So like, this isn't so much of a review. I know most of you who are watching this are going to go see it. I definitely.
And he drinks a Heineken.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a spoiler.
There's a lot of product placement in it, but I mean, what can you?
That's Hollywood.
I know exactly. It's not noticeably bad like in some films we've seen lately, but. Other than that, like I can't really pick out something I didn't like that much. Like I have
a few things, but I think I'll save it for the review.
Yeah, if you're gonna do, I know Eric's gonna write a review for Movie Night, and Parker will have one too on his site, and I'll probably put up some reaction because I feel like I want to talk about it. So we might all have something.
And we'll probably talk about it again on the podcast.
Yeah, on the podcast.
I guess I'll ask you this before we close up: is what's your favorite Bond movie? Just to let people know.
I'd say From Russia with Love, but I'm also a bit of a fan of Timothy Dalton's Bond films as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Connery is the best. It's always who is the second best Bond, and Timothy Dalton, I think, is really good. But Daniel Craig, with these 3 films, has proven that he is at the top of his game for the job. And I think that this is sort of the pinnacle of his Bond, performance.
And for me, I don't know. I'm a more modern guy. I love James Bond, but I never really got into the older ones but I love GoldenEye, as cheesy as it is looking back at it, because that's how when I was young, that's Pierce Brosnan's the Bond I grew up with. But I think Casino Royale is my favorite one because I'm more of a modern guy.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
sure.
So, and you?
I really like. I'm sort of between. I like Goldfinger quite a bit and Casino Royale. Those are my right in there.
So for me, I think this is I'll have to watch both again, but this is much more epic scale where Casino Royale
this is probably the longest Bond, maybe the second.
It's 145 minutes.
Yeah. It's a little bit shorter than Casino Royale, but it doesn't feel very towards the end you're like, all right, this is kind of long. Javier Bardem doesn't come into the movie until 45 minutes or an hour.
But man, it's a great entrance, and he has a great little bit of dialogue, a story that he tells is really quite interesting, and the delivery of it is great. And again, without spoiling the third act, I think the third act is strong. I mean, a lot of action acts, the third act usually peters out, but this is really great.
I think it's very paced well, where there's I mean, we're all gushing about it. Even Parker said he liked it. But no,
3 of us like it.
So I know, which is very rare lately. But anyways,
discussion last
night. We're kind of blabbing on. But seriously, go check it out. I think you'll love it. I think it's one of the better blockbuster films this year. Out of all this stuff, I liked it more than Avengers.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises, I have a bias towards Batman.
Yeah, we all like Rises as well.
But I mean, basically, Bond is Batman
in this film. In this film, he's very much as Bruce Wayne. You'll see when you see it. But anyways, check it out, guys. We'll have reviews. Check out the podcast. We'll be talking about it a little bit more. I think we should do a spoiler cast too.
I think so. I think that would
a separate thing where we talk about in depth about it. But anyways, Matt Rohrbeck. You can see more of my work at movienight.com and at Twitter at movie_night.
The name's Marchin, Eric Marchin. You can find more of my work at movienight.com. The art scene. The film slate at Rogers, and I'm also on Twitter at EM6211. Sorry about all that.
I can't top that entrance, but this is Parker Mott. You can read all my stuff at the Movie Night website and my personal site, thefinaltake.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Parker Mott.
All right, guys, we're out until next time. See ya.